South Africa has quite deliberately chosen for reconciliation. In Pretoria, on that historic day in May 1994, when Nelson Mandela was inaugurated as our first black, democratically elected president, he said some important things, and this is what he said. We have triumphed in the effort to implant hope in the breast of the millions of our people. We enter into a covenant that we shall build the society in which all South Africans, both black and white, will be able to walk tall without any fear in their hearts, assured of their inalienable right to human dignity, a rainbow nation at peace with itself and with the world. Now, our ears perked up when we heard the word covenant. For in South Africa, that is a loaded word, heavy with the burden of our colonialist past, tinged with a blasphemous sacramentalism, soaked in blood. So Mandela did more than just juxtapose the covenant into which he has invited the people of South Africa with a covenant of white Afrikaner South Africa, made at the occasion of their war and victory over the Zulu nation at the Battle of Blood River in 1838. In South Africa on December 16, we celebrate a public holiday called the Day of Reconciliation. It replaced another holiday, a holy day actually, a civil, religious, sacrilegious, nationalistic fest from apartheid's history called the Day of the Vow. It was the day on which white apartheid South Africa, more specifically white Afrikaans-speaking Christians, celebrated their military victory over the Zulu nation, which was seen as a gift from their powerful God, together with the right to claim the land as their own. After the victory over apartheid and the dawning of democracy, the day became Reconciliation Day, a deliberate, hopeful renaming of the day, celebrating the decision that black South Africans would seek reconciliation rather than retribution, forgiveness rather than revenge, justice for the living rather than justice for the dead. And when we had to decide on how to respond to the ravages of colonization, slavery, and the consequences of the crime against humanity called apartheid. John de Gruchy comments on Mandela's use of the word covenant in that speech. It's not the same as the theological understanding of covenant that has played such an important role in the history of certain expressions of Reformed theology, he says. But there is an analogous relationship. For covenant implies a new commitment to each other that transcends simply agreeing to coexist. A covenantal relationship goes further than a social contract because it is concerned about reconciliation rather than mere coexistence. I quote, "It means recognizing the way in which power has been abused in serving self-interest and developing structures of inequality and injustice, and seeking ways to achieve quality rather than the protection of vested interest," end quote. For ordinary South Africans listening to Mandela on that day of days, these were portentous words, adding weight to the enormous authenticity and the authority conferred upon Mandela by the people, and which he carried with him onto that podium. In response, we did offer that forgiveness instead of revenge, healing instead of retribution, the inclusivity of a shared destiny with whites instead of a retrogressive exclusivity built on an unforgivable past. By doing this, black South Africans offered a political, communal, and personal forgiveness that is almost incredible. So why do proponents of a pure political reconciliation process cannot find that this is setting the bar too high already in the political reconciliation process? So we have a right and the duty to hold those who claim Mandela's legacy accountable and to insist upon the justice, dignity, and equity that that covenant proclaims.